Jim from Hobart asks, I've been watching renovating shows on TV. Is renovating a good way to make money?
The answer is yes, it is. However, what you've got to be very careful about, remember I've said all the way along that when you buy a property, it's a long-term process if you're an investor. If you're buying a property to renovate and sell, you're not actually an investor anymore, you're a speculator. You are speculating on what the market may do in the short term, and there is a danger in doing that. And the reason I say it, there's a twofold approach to this. Firstly, if you're going to renovate in a particular location, you have to know that area like the back of your hand. You have to know every property that's sold in there for a period of time. You have to understand the market. Now, when I used to do some of this myself, my attitude was this. If I could save $10,000 or $20,000 on the asking price, that was money back in my pocket along the bottom line. Here's the important thing to remember as a renovator. The profit is in the buying. It's not in the selling, it's what price you pay. You pay too much for that property, you're in trouble. The second thing I would suggest, so you've got to understand that area thoroughly. You've got to know what the rents are, what everything else will do. Focus on things that make you money when you're renovating as well, and they are kitchens and bathrooms, and creating additional space if you can. So removing a wall or something like that is certainly worthwhile. But remember, if you put a nice kitchen into a property, it doesn't cost you that much more to put a nice appliance than it does a cheap one. Do it always on the basis of reselling the property, not to an investor, but to an owner-occupier, who may be well the people that buy it. And if you are doing it to put tenants in the property, well, tenants are no different to anybody else. They'll inspect everything on the market, and they will pay a bit more for something that offers a little bit more as well, such as air conditioning or a nice kitchen with nice appliances and things like that too. So remember, the profit's in the buying. What you pay for the property ultimately is going to make a difference to what you get at the other end for it. Now, the other thing I strongly recommend that you do too is be in a position where if you have to keep the property, you're prepared to do that as well. The best ways really of renovating are to become a long-term investor, because if you go in and you buy a property today and then you renovate and improve it, 6 or 8 months afterwards you can get the property refinanced, and you can even refinance the growth that you've created into the property too, and that become more of a long-term investment for you as well. That's really important. Don't put yourself in a position where if you can't sell the property you're in trouble. Because one of the issues in a market like where we're in at the moment is we don't know what the market will do in the next 12 or 18 months. So if you're counting on that growth, really you need to put yourself in a position where if you need to hang on to the property for a little bit yourself, that's worthwhile. Ideally, I would always suggest that if you can renovate, the idea should be to build a portfolio by doing this, because you create equity when you improve the property. So certainly if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact Nigel at propertyknowhow.com.au. And remember, our aim is to make your money work harder than you do. Thank you.